Hey everyone, it's been a while, and we got some exciting news, and which you already guys know. Um, but it's exciting for me. Still want to talk about it. We got Street Fighters as a collab, which is, I think, is reasonable. It is something new for all of us to enjoy. When it comes down to just having something different. Most of our collabs that we usually have are reruns, and let's talk about some of the new characters that we actually have coming out for us. I'm kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not really too disappointed. Personally, I think I would have loved to see Zangief, Akuma. Did I say Akuma? Yeah, Akuma. I think that's his name. And I would honestly love to see Bison. Favorite character of mine in Street Fighters. I used to play Street Fighters back in the day. And to see this into a last Cloudia game, it is refreshing. It's a new start of things, and you can't go wrong with it. And you can't complain, because it is something new. Rather than have a rerun all the time, we're getting something that, personally, I truly do see that we would like. And a lot of people that I know want to see Ken. Ken's great and everything, but the problem is, when you have collab like this, people would expect three things that come out of it. If I knew that, hey, if we're going to go to the traditional route of, like, okay, the three characters that we're going to see is Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, I would have guessed it right away. First, I did guess, like, oh, they're going to have Ryu. They're going to have Chun-Li, and personally, I thought it was going to be Ken. Because, like, that would be the traditional thing to do for Street Fighters. Nah. Not even Chun. Guile came out of nowhere. Kind of threw me off guard, because I was like, whoa. Guile's the man and everything. But, you know, I would expect Ken. Because that's just Street Fighters. You know, those are the well-known characters in Street Fighters. So is Bison. I mean, Bison is the villain. So enough about that. That's a rant for another day. Chun-Li that we actually do. I'm going to start with Chun-Li. Because Chun-Li is Chun-Li. Okay. I do like Chun-Li. I do play Chun-Li when I used to play Street Fighters. I played a lot of Bison, Akuma, Zangief a little bit. Not too much, but yeah. So, as traditional, we always start with traits, because traits are the thing that makes the character the most when it comes down to playing Last Cloudia. You can get skills out of literally anywhere, and arcs, kind of hard to come across. So, skills that come with presets, they actually do matter, because it's like, hey, okay, I don't need to fight for a arc, and I already have this as a pre-skill that's already meant for it. All right, anyways, enough about that. So high kicking dance is a skill damage that gives us 30% and damage cap of 5,000, special damage by 100%, damage cap for 40,000, and whenever using a skill on the same target enemy, boosts the skill attack power max of 50% damage cap by 10,000 at 5 uses, and resets each wave. If if incapacitated, if using a skill on another target enemy, chances to evade physical magic attack taken. Interesting. Anyways, head to head. When using a skill when skill attacking, heal 1 strength defense debuff on a unit, excluding some debuffs. Frontal attack damage by 20%, damage cap by 2,000. Frontal physical and counter attack damage by taken by 40%, and when using a skill attacking, chance to restore SCT 1 second, and chance to special damage, critical, and damage, and when unit. This is basically, to get a rundown, special critical rate is 10%. Are we talking about when using your special, we have a chance to actually have a crit rate that's increased by 10%? I'm going to go with that idea, because I've never heard such a thing of special critical, unless we're referring to our special ability. So when we look at Chun-Li, we're looking at a physical DPSer. We're not looking too much into anything else. And she is, I'm assuming an ice type, I believe. Yes, she's an ice type, and which is actually pretty dang good. Honestly, there's a little bit of new thing here with the spinning bird kick. Is closing into enemy with a wide range of ice combo in a unit when a target extends to the mid range. Ice combo attack launches into the air, blah blah blah. So yeah, okay, so she's basically just hey, I'm a DPSer, build me as a DPS if you want the full use of my capability. But this is Last Cloudia. You know, Last Cloudia has a whole bunch of ideas you can make of a character, but essentially, what we look at, she's definitely a DPSer. She can do a lot of damage. Trust me, I've played with her a little bit, and not bad. So, anyways, the wholeness of the body is just a healing, I believe. Yeah, restores HP and recover poison and blind and curse. Okay, great. And so we have attack up with fighting spirit up that allows us to get strength, and also HP that goes up with heroism with strength and defense HP that goes up, critical up, advanced oh my goodness, advanced aim vitals, that's just increasing critical power by 50%, prop force, so every time you crit something you heal. Guard is kind of interesting because with her traits, she's going on DPS wise, and to have guard and guard charge makes kind of sense because traditionally when you play Street Fighters, there are guards involved like blocking and such like that. It makes sense, to be quite honest with you. We have Auto Grand Brave that just increases our overall strength and DPS potential, along with critical, auto critical that just allows us to actually have more critical with auto haste, restoring our SAT with Awakening. Every time we get close to death, we refresh our HP back to full or pretty dang close to it. With Pride, you know, at max HP, we get a strength of, I'm assuming that was 30%. Yep. Gale Force at max HP, our SAT recovery time is increased by 10%. Ice Mega Drive, so just pretty much increase of damage of ice types. Goddess of Kiss with every time you have a max of MP, I believe. Yeah, so chance to have to absorb 20% of damage dealt as MP. Okay, it doesn't say max, but you know, pretty much just having a lot of MP. Triple impact, kind of normal. Dual wielding, kind of normal. Could see that as a DPSer. But skill charge, we just get like, you know, a restore SAT. Combo master makes sense. So it's just comboing. The more your combos you do, the more damage you're gonna put out. OAD overdrive, when using a skill, using 30% of max MP, and the unit cannot be interrupted in most attacks, which is pretty dang good, honestly. Just imagine like boss fights or just PvP, guild wars or things like that. You're actually going to actually have a very good character here when it comes down to, hey, listen, I want to deal damage and I have a chance to actually not be interrupted in those moments, which would be a very good thing. Corner, when enemies near or left or right edge of the field, skill damage is 30% and damage cap is 5,000. This is a really interesting one because if we really look at this one, I didn't expect this because this is new to me. So a lot of, if you ever play Street Fighters, right, when the enemy is cornered, usually you maximize your damage into that corner by simply just doing combos and cornering your opponent where they have a hard time getting out of it. And so makes sense. I can see that. Round 2, Battlestar gives a revive effect to the unit, and which is interesting. Hokage, strength 40%, chance to have criticals to break away enemy's guard. Really good. Nice. I like that. Fair fight, frontal attack critical by 5%, critical damage is by 10,000, rear attack critical rate is by 5% less, which is really good. Kicking butt, really nice. Skill kick attack, damage cap by 10,000. So we're looking at a very good. I'm gonna say a really good character. I don't know about fair. I mean, this character I think is gonna be completely busted, especially with doing damage. Okay. I am really, really excited to see what Gale would even look like. Oh my god, I call him Gale. Guile would even look like when it comes down to this. Her world tour, I don't want to spend too much in the arc, but we'll go as fast as we can. Each wave start will give her the strength and defense by 7 and max up to 3 times, and battle start auto cast high protection, and when hitting a tribute weakness with skills. Okay, so essentially she's going to do a lot of damage. She's going to have protection along with it, along with doing that special skill set. When unit is a status element, skill damages by 10% and damage cut by 1,500. Not bad. Something I really wouldn't care for, but hey, you take what you get. Critical we have, and head bash is pretty much a faint easily. Dog Eater, skill damage by 10% against non-bosses, so PvP wise would be nice, or just simply just in general. When no armor is equipped, my defense is up by 20%. I'm not sure why would you even care for. If you're going in for a character that you don't want to put armor on, and this would just essentially just give you increase of defense by 20%, which is not necessarily bad, but nor would it be good. That would just promote the idea of her not wanting to be a tank, you know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. Bonds with Master, if only when one other ally has the skill bonds with Master set, battle start is auto cast Grand Brave and Grand Front, which is good. Fort, which is actually pretty good. Driven with the Heart and Soul, when using a attack skill, uses 50% of your max HP, boosts damage by 25%. So we're looking at, essentially, and not a bad arc to get. Definitely has some perks to it. Would I care for it? Yeah, maybe. You know, like any arc is actually a good arc, depending on what you have. I don't like the design of this arc, but this one actually speaks a lot to me with the design with Ryu. I'm not sure who this is. I think this is from Street Fighter 6. I have not played that. I stopped playing Street Fighters a while ago. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ryu. So Ryu has a really nice, beautiful, just portrait going on here. It's amazing. I love it. Also, talk about one last thing before we dive into this. The music in this game is phenomenal. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. Detail and everything, great. Anyways, let's talk about traits first. I forgot about that. To becoming the true master martial artist, when one weapon is equipped, skill damage by 40%, damage cap by 42,000, and special damage by 40%, and damage cap is by 30,000. Cut physical attack, counter damage taken based on the closest of the attack, a max of 30% damage taken from enemies with units strength or less of 30%, and when using a skill 1 or 2, changes the attack based off distance of the target. That is a mouthful, and let me tell you something right now. I am not quite sure what that even means. Even though I'm a Ryu player, I don't know what the heck this even means. I'm going to just assume here that, you know what? I don't even know. I don't know what that means. That is just too much right there for me. Continues Grand Brave and critical effect. Boss Wave, a boost of strength of 50% more. Boss Wave start restores 1 SCT and stocks of all skills. That's not bad. Damage cap to boss monsters and by 45,000, and when a unit is by 25 or less, special damage is by 65 and damage cap by 65,000. This is actually very good, especially if you're looking for a unit that is going to fight bosses. So if this is what you're looking for, I would roll on this character. I mean, honestly, I would personally, if I was anybody in anybody's shoes, free to player or just pay to player, obviously collabs come not very often. I mean, I would say they come often enough, but not very often, because you will be missing out the chance of actually picking up some good units. So I would definitely recommend such a thing like this of this character if you're looking for a boss hitting hard Ryu guy, whatever, to just fight bosses with you or for you. Definitely picking. I would personally myself would pick up this character. Now, I also have to mention one thing. This character is good and everything, but be careful what you're rolling for and what you're willing to risk when your free to play crystals are actually coming out. So make sure you make a very, very, very important decision of what character will be suitable for you, because you don't want to be stuck with rolling on a character that you possibly don't need. Now, if you want all the characters full, feel free to do so and throw your crystals away. If you're just looking for a potential character that you are, if you're looking for a character that you just generally need, then look at the traits and overall the general of that character. Chun-Li, I think, is a great character. I even think Ryu is a great character. So let's go ahead and dive into his skills. We have attack up max, with fighting spirit being max, with resolve being 2 and critical 2, guard, spell guard, and auto. So traditionally, I would expect the guard to be in here because, hey, it's Street Fighters. It makes sense because there's just blocking and guarding. And certain versions of the game. All blocks are on all of the game, but there's one particular Street Fighters that just has guard in it. Anyways, auto protection, auto cast, and pride with max HP, giving him the strength of up. And he is a Thunder, which I did not expect that, honestly. Thunder Drive with Thunder Giga Drive. So pretty much with physical damage and special damage is gonna pretty much what you're gonna be seeing here with the Thunder attack raised and boost of physical attack damage and based on magic resistance and physical attack with enemy defense of 50% and dealing damage. Piercing will pretty much just pierce through people's armors or defense, whatever you prefer. Shockwave, physical attacks will have a chance to notify enemy on guard. Boost of damage on sword if you have one sword that's equipped. Or just a claw with a two-handed claw boost of 3, not bad. With a claw mega booster. This thing is it gives me like, oh, you can also have a sword. Or you can just have claws that come with a whole bunch of benefits onto it. So Indomitable Spirit, which is actually good. Giant Killer 3, to be expected. He is a boss fighting unit. Concentration reduces the fate time. Fair and square, physical attack damage by 20% and damage cap by 2000 with enemies without status elements. OD, we already know what that is. Corner, we know what that is. Round 2, we know what that is. Denjin charge at battle start and every 10 seconds after, and give a Denjin buff when using 1 or 3 skill. Using Denjin buff will boost the skill hit count, more likely to fate and break 100%. Not bad, not bad. Again, to be expected. We're looking at a boss hitting unit. Magic resistance 20% and notify magic resistance cut debuffs from active skills. I must find a worthy opponent. Battle end restores 1 CT, stack to all skills, and fully restore HP and restore 15%. Ooh, hold on. Restores all skills, fully restore HP. Ooh, I hope that's what it means, is restore even skills and HP. That's wild. That's actually crazy. So yeah, you're looking at a character that is essentially meant to fight bosses. On anyway, it doesn't matter, because all of these characters are essentially going to be good regardless. I mean, it's the last Cloudia. You have arcs to build whatever your character want to be, but essentially traits tell it all. So Thunder skill damage by 40%, damage taken during a skill is 25% less. Skill damage and special damage cap by 2 enemies of fate to break by 6,000. Not bad, not bad. We're gonna look at the arc. Ether reward is with physical attack damage to boss monsters by 10% and damage from bosses by 10%. Again, character that is meant to fight bosses is actually very welcome. You know, bosses can be really annoying. Fury, when close to death, is strength by 20%, and when only one weapon is equipped, physical attack break is by 100%. If a unit is only one in battle, strength is by defense by 10%. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired here, so I'm trying to rush through this. Thunder physical attack and special attack by 30%, and continuous thunder wall affected the wall unit, and two-handed claw boost, which essentially gives us 10% and damage cap by 3,000. So great character, awesome. Recommend any of these characters. I am using my alt account currently, and my main account has like 50,000 crystals. I will be switching back to that when I start rolling on these characters. I am not rolling just yet. I'm saving tickets, and also I am saving my crystals just to see what Guile is going to look like, especially with his traits and just overall his skill set. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day, and see you later.